I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is another request for Guillermo. Thank you for that. If anyone's ever interested in requesting pretty much any type of video, review, movie topic, whatever, you just send a request directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both of those links are down below in the info box. Now, Deep Blue Sea 3. No, this is not a rant, and I'm surprised myself. I wouldn't call this a gem. I wouldn't call this great. I would call this decent, which is better than I thought it would be. I do think it's better than the second one. It's nowhere near as good as the first one. It still is a film that's not needed. But you know what? It wasn't that bad. If you worked on the acting, if you worked on the characters, if you got whether a more recognizable cast or more established actors, or I think that would help. Because I think the cast are so at best, and that's the weakest part of the movie, is the characters, the acting is. Because Deep Blue Sea, you had Thomas Jane and LL Cool J, which yes, I do think he did a good job in that, and Samuel L. Jackson, among others, and that helps when you get a good cast in there. For your B movie, no matter how ridiculous the subject material may be, that does help. Because the positives, the effects are not that bad for a direct-to-video film. The sharks didn't look too awful for a direct-to-video film. There's a point where one of them is captured and it's a practical effect. There are certain moments of surprise I didn't see coming, which were nice. The cinematography, the look of the film is pretty good. You get certain POV shots throughout the water. I don't mind where it took place, which is this little man-made island. Whereas there were points in the finale that looked almost as if it was the same place as Deep Blue, the first one. Hell, you get even a fist fight put in there. You get some explosions put in there. The way the last shark died, I thought was interesting. I haven't seen something quite like that. And I watch him going, this isn't that bad. I've seen a lot of shark movies. This is not an awful one. Maybe because I didn't see the trailer. So some of the stuff it did, it took me by surprise because I did not see the trailer. Again, low expectations. Now, it does take place right after the second film, because at the end of the second film, these three bull sharks escaped. So I'm like, okay, they're actually paid attention. Certain franchises would leave a hook for a sequel, and then the next one would completely ignore it. That's happened before in other franchises. This didn't do that. Okay, give credit to that. The lead lady, she's so-so. She's an environmentalist. I really do wish you had a stronger lead character, or maybe a better actress, or even a better actor. Like, it could be a guy as well. It doesn't just have to be a lady. It could be a guy as well. This way, even if it was a more recognizable face, I don't know who you would get. You know, if you had a bigger budget, if this had a bit of a bigger budget, and then hell, you put Jason Statham in here instead of the Meg. With a bigger budget, this could be better than the Meg. Honestly. It's just one of those things where, to me, that's this glaring flaw, and I just went, man, if it had a better cast, I think this would have been a gem. As is just a decent time waster, which even is surprising. It's not the only flaw, but there's other flaws. But I don't know, I watched the film. It's going at a decent pace. It's kind of following the formula of the first Deep Blue Sea, where a similar type of location. By the end, you have a handful of people left and sort of the wreckage. It did remind me of the place they were at in the first film. I'm the end of spoilers starting now to mention moments I enjoyed. For example, there's a guy that's coming towards them underwater, and they look and they see the guy pass by. You realize he's been bitten in half. And he has one of those motor things that's pulling him, so he's being pulled as just his top half, and you just see the bottom half gone and the blood just flowing through the water, dragging behind him. I didn't mind that shot. I didn't mind that idea. You have some human bad guys, because they've arrived, and one of them, who had a history with the lead character, thinks they're there to capture the sharks, but the other's like, what the fuck? No, we were hired to do a hush-hush. And if that means not leaving witnesses, they'll do it. So you get human bad guys. That's how you get a fist fight in there. You get the bad guys shooting these little explosive things, blowing up parts of this man-made tiny island, this facility. One of the guns, the main human bad guy, the gun he's carrying, it looked like a fucking super soaker. Maybe because the colors, it was like a bright green or bright yellow, or it looked like a fucking super soaker. I mean, it's not, but I'm like, do the guns look like that? That fucking lightly colored? It looked like something that would be on Saturday morning cartoons, like advertised. So that looked ridiculous. I don't know why it looked like that. Someone can explain that to me, feel free. But yeah, the explosions didn't look that bad. There's one where the girl like flies up, which looked kind of ridiculous, but looked kind of neat as well. I mentioned one of the three sharks, they capture one, and the up close of that is practical. I appreciate that. One, I was talking about, there were moments that surprised me, and there's a moment where, in spoiler, the guy who is boyfriend, or I get former friend of this girl, and he doesn't like what these guys are doing. It's like, I'd rather die with them out there than stay with you. As he jumps off the boat to swim over there, he jumps and the shark immediately grabs him and pulls him down. And I'm like, oh shit, that's their Sam Jackson moment. That caught me off guard. I'm like, it did make me chuckle, so I appreciate that. I'm like, wow, okay. But But I mean, the dialogue isn't good. There's these two characters you don't care about. Promise, 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 promise. That's literally what. Some of the death scenes are interesting. The one guy, one of our good guys, is fighting one of the bad guys, and they're struggling, and the shark jumps, and the good guy turns and lifts the head, so the shark bites the head off of one of the bad guys. That was an interesting moment. One thing I thought they were going to do more of, sadly they didn't, is near the beginning, the lead environmentalist lady, she has this shark named Sally. It's a great white shark. And it's not her pet, but oh, it's okay. She just reminded me who I am and who she is. Like, they have an understanding with each other. So I thought it was going to get into this thing where that shark, the great white, was going to be battling these bull sharks and kill one or rip apart another. No, it doesn't go that route. It does grab one of the human bad guys that's fucking with the lady, so I guess that was his only purpose as one of the few survivors of the film. But I just, with that introduction near the beginning, I thought they were going to do more with it, but they don't. So whether that's a flaw, just granted, within the story, the bull sharks are smart, so how could the smart sharks get beaten by the dumb great white? And yes, the premise was ridiculous in the first movie. Just because you grow their brains doesn't mean they're smarter, because you have to actually fill it with information. You have to actually be taught it. It's not like that'd be like a baby automatically knowing the fucking geometry. They wouldn't, yet they had to be taught it. Same with the sharks in the movies. Even the first, which I love, Deep Blue Sea. I love the original. I saw that in the theater back in 1999, I believe. Great time. Love that movie. Easily one of my favorite shark films. Might be my second after Jaws. Just love Deep Blue Sea. I believe I reviewed it on the channel. I could be wrong, but I believe I did. And even then I'm going, well, yeah, we made their brains bigger, and as a result they got smarter. No, that's not how it works. Even your bullshit sci-fi, that's not how it works. They have to be taught it. You have to fill it with information. It's like you could get a bigger fucking pizza pan, but if you don't put the pizza in there, it's just a fucking pan. There's nothing there. Like, you could get a bigger fucking shelf. You could get a bigger drawer. You could get a bigger bag. But if you don't actually fill shit in there, it don't matter. You have to be taught it. But whatever. I thought the main human bad guy kind of got a lame death. Because I like the idea that the lead girl, they have this mine that's going to blow up their place. So she says, fuck it, takes the mine, puts it on the bad guy's ship and blows that up. Granted, it's not the best effect, sadly. But then you think he's dead, he's not, he comes back, and then he just gets stabbed by the girl. I'm like, well, that guy deserved a grandiose death from one of the sharks. But he doesn't. He's one of the only people that does not get killed by a shark. And it's your main human bad guy. I didn't really understand that. You just don't have the girl stab him, but then, I don't know, have the shark like bite his top half. Bite it off. Or maybe it bites his one arm, then it bites his second arm, then it bites his legs off. And then it's just a human torso, like bobbing like a top. I mean, that'd be pretty graphic. But yeah, I mean, it's the human bad guy. He's a piece of shit scum sucker. He deserved it. So that's what I mean. There are flaws with the film. The acting, the characters, the dialogue are not that great at all. So at best. They introduced the Great White Shark, Sally. I thought they were going to do more with it. The human bad guy deserved a much more epic, prominent death. the three that survived, the lead lady, and then these other two, and I didn't really care. I can't say the characters, other than maybe you want good to triumph over evil, I didn't really give a shit. But I was saying I like the way how the last shark got killed. She traps in this device thing, and then is right near her, like this far away, and then she does this thing where the doors of it squeeze and squeeze, so ultimately the shark pops like a pimple. I like that. It was kind of a different way to kill your main shark, because usually it's an explosive. This was a bit different. I thought that was an interesting way to do it. So there's enough decent entertaining stuff for direct-to-video Deep Blue Sea 3 that I'm going, I don't hate it. Low expectations, not that awful. I mean, I liked it better than Open Water 3, which was the last shark movie I watched and reviewed. I liked it better than Open Water 3. I do think it's better than Deep Blue Sea 2. It doesn't touch the original. Like I said, the actors, I think they're the weakest part of it, sadly. Needed a stronger cast, or at least a stronger lead or something. At best, she was so-so. But there's a decent fun moments. Not that bad of a looking movie. Kind of there's some B movie fun there. There's some B movie fun. I would never see it again, but there's some decent B movie fun. So, not a rant. I'm surprised. It's not that good, but I don't think it's that bad. With this said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.